Hey guys, welcome to Thrifty on a Dime's podcast. I'm your host Samantha, and I'm a reseller on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. My closet name is Thrifty on a Dime. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook at Thrifty on a Dime as well, if you're looking for some daily motivation and tips. I wanted to create this podcast to help other people who may be like me and want to make some extra money. Whether you're looking to make extra money part-time, full-time, or just some extra cash. Because let's face it, it is hard to get ahead with the 40-hour work week. This podcast is sponsored by resellerassistant.com, and they have helped me scale my Poshmark closet tremendously. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to start sharing information to help you on your reselling journey. So let me go ahead and dive in and give you a little information about myself. I'm Samantha. I grew up in Illinois, and I've pretty much resold things my entire life. I always find things at like garage sales or thrift stores, and I love seeing the value in it that other people just may have not seen, or they were just ready to just throw the item out. So it feels amazing to be able to find things, know the value, and be able to flip it for some profit. So I didn't start really getting serious about reselling until my daughter was 3 years old, and that was about 5 years ago. I was in nursing school. I was working, but honestly, I was working just to pay childcare for when I was in nursing school, and it seemed like no matter what I did, I could not get ahead on bills. I was literally just shelling out money just for childcare, for groceries, and there was little left for other bills to pay. So I got quite a bit of help from, the state as far as food stamps and other assistant programs, which was in itself work to keep up with because of all the applications and having to go in for meetings to meet with them, show them what I'm making, what progress I'm making on my degree, which I'm not complaining about, but I just knew there had to be a better way to make money that I didn't have to leave her at daycare and basically just pay for daycare with what I was working for. So I went and I did research. I Googled how to make money online. And after getting burned a few times, investing in something that wasn't really a smart investment to make money, I came across an app called Vinted, which Vinted is very similar to Poshmark. And I enjoyed it, but I wasn't making a whole lot of money on there. Someone on there told me about Poshmark, and that's when I decided to download the Poshmark app and try it out. I was hooked after that. I was listing things. I was doing my best to try and make some extra money. And yes, it was working, but I knew my potential and I knew that I could make more. So I set out to really educate myself on the app. I Googled how to make more money on Poshmark. I emailed Poshmark and I asked them. I even messaged people on Poshmark trying to get information like, hey, I see that you're making a lot of sales. How can I do this too? So Poshmark was really quick to respond to me, but basically they just sent me the whole outline of what they had already online. So I'm thinking to myself, well, I've already looked that up and I read the step-by-step on how to make more money, take good photos, do the description, be honest and stuff like that. So they basically just sent me the generic response email, which I get it. They don't really have time to respond to each individual and coach them. And then other people on the app were not so friendly. I really didn't have anybody respond that really wanted to help me. So I felt really bummed out. I'm like, I know I can make more money. I just feel so confused on what I need to be doing. Seeing other people making money and making tons of sales, I was just like, how can I do this too? It took me a while to gain the knowledge, but eventually, by continuing to ask people on the app, I did run across some people that were willing to give me some good tips. And I got added to some Facebook groups, which was easier to communicate because on Poshmark, unfortunately, the only communicating way you can do that is by leaving comments. And other people don't want their items cluttered with comments of questions on how to make more money or how to make more sales and stuff like that. So eventually, coming across people who were willing to help me, I was introduced to share groups. And a share group is basically something that you can sign up on each day, and at a certain time, you share, like, for example, 10 items out of whoever is on that list and who has joined that day for the share group. You share 10 of their items of a specific category at a specific time. And that helped my sales tremendously. I went from making maybe 3 sales a week to making a sale almost every single day. Now, they may not have been big sales, but with Poshmark, it's all about your exposure. So with other people sharing my items, that's more people seeing what's in my closet, as far as they have followers that I don't have, so they're seeing the item when they share it. And the same for me. When I'm sharing their items, they're able to make more sales. So this worked for a while, but honestly, it was so time consuming. I really sat down and added up how much time I was spending, sharing other people's items, and the fact that I had to be on at a certain time to share these items made it extremely hard for me. I mean, at this time I was in nursing school, and nursing school was more than a full-time job at that time. And on top of that, I had a toddler running around, and she always wanted my attention, and I did not want to neglect her at all. So it was really hard to be on my phone or on my iPad sharing when I should have been spending my free time playing with her. So I continued to do the share groups for quite a while until I eventually just decided I could not handle it in nursing school and a job. So then I stopped joining the share groups. And wow, my sales took a plummet again. And it was hard. I was like, what can I do now to keep my sales rolling in so that I'm making money? So basically, I was back to the drawing board. Like, I'm not able to join these share groups and share other people's items every single day in order to get more exposure for myself. So what do I need to do differently to kind of revamp my closet so that I'm starting to make more sales without having to share other people's items all day, every day? So I started taking better pictures, multiple pictures. I know that may sound silly, but making sure you have the proper lighting, making sure you're taking detailed pictures of any flaws or anything that's unique on the piece. Say it has some pockets. Well, show your hand in the pockets so that people know, hey, this is double pocketed, and stuff like that. Also, making my descriptions just a little bit better, and that seemed to help quite a bit. But again, my sales were good, but they could have been better. So I kind of did a little more research, and I heard people, edit next list. So basically, you're just editing your item, and it pushes it back to the top of the newsfeed. And if you do that for your entire closet, all your items are going to get refreshed to the top of, the search engine. So that makes it where other people who are not following you can actually see your items. You also share it to the newsfeed when you do this, and that alone increased my sales dramatically. And at the time, I only had about three or 400 items. So editing my listings a couple times a day really was not that hard. I was still in nursing school at that time. I didn't graduate until about 2016. So this was something that was manageable where I could do it when I first woke up and then immediately when I got home. And I would still have a ton of time for my daughter as well as to take more pictures to list more items. Now in 2016, when I graduated from nursing school, I was making good money on the Poshmark app alone. At this point, I still was not on any other app, so I was solely focused on Poshmark. And it really was making some good money for me. But after graduating, I did accept a full-time nursing position at a nursing home, and I absolutely loved it. I was so happy and excited. I was finally using my degree. But with that being said, I had built my Poshmark up to where I was sharing it multiple times a day. I was listing things every single day. So when I accepted that full-time position, I really had no time to list. I had no time to share. So my Poshmark closet again took a back seat to, nursing and family time, which wasn't bad. But then after 6 months of working, full-time overtime hours as a nurse, I really got burnt out. And I again was like, I would rather be more free to make money at home than be stuck having to go to a job every single day if I didn't want to. So at that time, I was offered a float position for nursing where I would travel to multiple different nursing homes and basically do the data entry for them. And then I had the option to also work the floor as a nurse if I wanted to. And this was an amazing opportunity for me because it gave me the freedom to pick up hours when I wanted to. If I didn't want a whole lot of hours that week, I didn't have to pick them up. So then I was more flexible to really get going on my business again. So I got started in really listing more items, and it honestly took a few months for my Poshmark closet to pick back up. But after then, it's been amazing. The freedom to work as a nurse a few days a week, go thrift after I got done working, come home, spend time with my daughter. Once she goes to sleep, take pictures of items, list the items, and then if anything sells, ship them out the next day. And I rode this roller coaster for quite some time. I was in the float nursing position for about 2 years, and I really enjoyed it. But eventually, I did get a little burnt out about that, and I really wanted to scale my Poshmark and online business. So I did join Mercari and also eBay. And I've started selling on all those platforms. I don't cross-post everything, and I've been slowly starting cross-post more. But I'm really enjoying having multiple avenues to make money and the freedom of being at home. So with me adding these other sites to sell on, yes, I'm able to make more money because my items are getting seen by more platforms, different crowd of people. I also am sacrificing time because I am still working. I still have my family. I'm still trying to hunt items down to resell. And basically you have to clean the items, you have to list the items, take pictures first, then list the items, add a description, you have to add it to inventory, and then after adding it to inventory, as it sells, you have to package it and ship it out. Let's face it, there's not enough time in the day to be able to do all of this on your own if you're wanting to scale largely. And that is definitely a goal of mine, is to be able to scale my business and hire out parts of it to where I can pay someone else to do, something for me. They're making money, but they're also helping me make more money and have more time with my family. Because my ultimate goal is to have more time for family time. And I came across reseller assistant, and basically what they are is a virtual assistant for Poshmark. They hire real people who enjoy, sharing the items, but they're getting paid to do this. So what they do is they log in at specific times on your account, and they will share your items. They will follow other people. They will share other people's items. So it's whatever your preference is, they will do that. And some of you may be like, well, Poshmark doesn't allow that. No, Poshmark does not allow bots. So what a bot is a computer-run program. Reseller Assistant hires real virtual assistants, which is totally fine with Poshmark. You can even contact them and ask them, because they just want to make sure that it's a real person sharing, and you're not, clogging the news feed up with a bot, a computer program sharing your items, because it's kind of not fair to other people who are doing it by hand. I have currently 957 listings on Poshmark. So if I'm wanting to get that over 1,000, I'm not going to be able to share my items the 3 times a day to get more sales and seen by more people like I want to. So I'm okay with paying a small portion for the company to share for me. And in turn, that is paying somebody else to work from home, to have the freedom to make a little extra money. But also it's increasing my sales drastically. They are extremely affordable, and the fact that the very first day I hired them, I made 3 sales. And that was after having a dry spell in my closet. I was typically making, a sale a day when I was sharing them all myself. And then when I stopped sharing multiple times a day, I had no sales for 3 or 4 days. I hired them because I found them through a Google search, and I had 3 sales when I woke up the next morning. I was ecstatic because A, it's a real person. They're making money, but B, they already helped me make most of my money back from hiring reseller assistant to find someone to share for me. And they're trusted, they're a trusted site, which is great because I was extremely leery at first to, give my account information over to somebody. But they responded quickly. I've already purchased off them for over a year now, and I'm loving the results. Finding a company you can trust in that will share for you, but they're using real people, and this is going to increase your family time, give you more time to either thrift, to find new items, give you more time to list items, is a tremendous help. Because I have wanted to hire, people to come in my home and list for me or take pictures for me, but it's extremely hard to kind of give up the reins and trust in somebody else. So finding this company and seeing that they immediately responded to my emails, pretty much whenever I have a concern or a question, they respond less than 24 hours. It was just amazing. They even got started with sharing the next day. So I didn't have to wait a week to see, my investment and see if I made a smart purchase. It immediately showed. So don't forget to check them out, guys. It's resellerassistant.com. And this is solely for Poshmark, since Poshmark is more of a social app and you have to kind of share your items in order to make more sales. Now, you don't have to. I shouldn't say have to, but for the most part, if you don't have a trendy item, you're not using great keywords, it's going to be really hard for your item to sell just because there are so many people selling on the app. With that being said, Mercari at the time when I joined was in the beta phase, so it was free to list on there. and it was confusing because it was way different than Poshmark. Although the app was kind of structured the same, you didn't have to share your items in order for them to sell. So basically, trying to figure out how things sell on that site was so confusing because I felt like I could list the exact same items, but it not sell on Mercari and it would sell well on Poshmark. So it took me quite a bit to kind of figure out what I should sell on Mercari, what I should price items at, how I should write the description, and how am I going to get sales if I don't share like I was supposed to share with Poshmark. Although it did take me a little bit to kind of figure out price points and what I should cross-post from Poshmark and post it on Mercari at the same time, I do have an awesome video on YouTube, actually a few, over Mercari and how to increase your sales. And basically this is from me just trying things out because on there it's not easy to communicate with sellers, and I didn't really reach out like I had on Poshmark in the beginning. So basically it was all trial and error for me, and I tried things out, what worked, what didn't work, and I would give it a good week trying one thing so that I truly had a good, idea on whether that worked for me or it didn't work. And I actually had quite a few comments on my videos stating, you know what, I find that does work really well. So I will eventually do a podcast for you guys, kind of walking you through the do's and don'ts on Mercari and how to increase your sales on there also. But in the meantime, if you do look for Thrifty on a Dime, it'll bring up my YouTube account and you can watch the videos in the meantime before I put out another podcast solely covering Mercari for you guys. And eBay. eBay, I see so many people killing it at, and where I've gained my knowledge is watching other people on YouTube like Rally Roots, Rake and Profit, Rockstar Flipper, and people like that. I watch them killing it on eBay. So it made me want to join and really start selling more on there. But again, it's confusing because it's completely different than Poshmark. And starting on Poshmark, it kind of babied me. Poshmark favors the seller over, eBay, who typically sides with the buyer. So it was kind of like scary to me. I was worried about getting poor ratings because on my Poshmark closet, I have a 4.9 out of 5. And on eBay, if you get any kind of neutral or negative feedback, it is so hard to get that removed. And it's so hard for people to trust you. But I worried myself for no reason. I literally have over 300 reviews and all of them were perfect. And of course, there came a day where I got a neutral feedback, but I was able to contact eBay and they agreed that, I was offering a refund. I even tried to work it out with a buyer, so they went ahead and removed that negative or neutral feedback, So figuring out what sells on there and price points. Do I offer free shipping? Do I offer free returns? And all that good stuff kind of deterred me from really getting started. I still am not full-blown on eBay. I only have about 200 items listed compared to like my Poshmark where I have over 900 listed, and then Mercari where I have over 400 listed. So it kind of just shows you I am dabbling a little bit with the other sites, but it's a slow process, especially when you're doing this yourself. So make sure you're taking the time to invest in yourself by learning, whether it be podcasts like this one or YouTube videos or Google, reaching out to people in person, showing up at meetups and stuff, which I will say I went to my very first Poshmark meetup in Connecticut last year, all the way from Illinois. I drove there for 3 days. So most of the 3 days was just driving, but I got to meet some amazing people in the Poshmark community who were killing it also. And it helped me grow. I mean, when you're meeting other people, you learn even just the slightest little thing to change in your business. So don't be afraid to reach out to people, even if you think they're going to tell you no, or even if they tell you no. All right, thank you for your time, and you go to the next person. But make sure you're doing it in a way that isn't like, help me and hold my hand. But you're doing it in a way where you truly want to learn, you truly want to grow. And I promise, guys, if you don't give up, it's gonna work out for you. So even if you're willing to put in 10 hours a week, you can do that and still be able to make some extra money. You don't have to be like me and want to make a full-time, on the side of working also, business. I just love this, and eventually one day really want to be only working from home. And then if I want to pick up, a few shifts here and there as a nurse, I can do that. Because life is so short, and I really appreciate all the family time that I get. But you can just do this if you want to put in 5 or 10 hours a week and only have 50 items listed. You still can make some extra money each month. It is still even possible to make an extra $400 or even more by just listing 50 items, a month, and then doing just a little bit each day to put into, your online part-time business there. Don't get overwhelmed. You don't have to have 900 items listed on Poshmark like me. Just start out with a few and then see if you like it. See if you like Mercari better. Maybe you'll like eBay better. So eBay and Mercari, again, are ones that are not as social. So as long as you're posting something each day and you're editing listings, your items are going to be able to be seen by people. Versus Poshmark, if you like a little bit more of the social aspect and, meeting other people virtually, obviously, that have like minds and are trying to make more money. It's just a great site to socialize on as well. And I love all three. I will always love Poshmark because that is where I started, and that's where I really got motivation to want to scale. And who knows, maybe one day I will open my own website. That's a possibility also. The ability to resell is limitless. Find what you enjoy and really nurture it. Take the time to study. Take the time to reach out to people. Take the time to learn. Because investing in yourself is investing in your future. And I promise you it'll work out if you do not give up and you do not give in. And you are constantly learning. Thank you guys so much for listening to my very first podcast. This was how I got started with reselling, and I just really enjoy Poshmark. That's where I started. Well, I started on Vinted, but basically where I really started reselling was Poshmark. And now, over the last year, I've been on eBay and Mercari, and I've been able to scale my business extremely thanks to reseller-assistant.com for having such a great company to really be trusted in sharing your items for you. They're helping me scale my Poshmark. I don't have to spend as much time online. I have more freedom to be with my family and also still be a nurse. I can't wait to give you guys more information and share more episodes with you, so that you can start making some money also. Whether you just have a holiday coming up and you want to make some extra cash to go on vacation, or you are looking to do this part-time on top of a full-time position, or maybe even full-time and weed out your full-time position so that you can have more family time in the future. Don't forget to go follow me, guys. I'm Thrifty on a Dime on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, also Poshmark and Mercari. And I just am so appreciative of you guys listening, and I cannot wait to put out more content to help you. Don't forget to tune in. I will be putting out 4 episodes per month for you guys, and each episode is going to be different, and it's going to be a breakdown of giving you information to make more money.